Good morning. Hope you're fantastic and working on it. This is Lillian Suarez, and I wanted to talk about how do you know you are a medium? Well, there's so many things that is said. You're born a medium. You are naturally sensitive to spirit, thoughts, emotions, environments. There's so many things that are said, but I want to begin with saying this. Everybody has a life's purpose. Everybody comes into this world with a purpose and a personality to fit that purpose. Some souls are a bit more sensitive from the very beginning to energy, thoughts, emotions, environment, while others are not so sensitive but still can have the same potential to unfold things. I feel that who is anybody to say who's a medium and who's not a medium? The only one that can say that is you, based on your experiences and how much you trust and surrender that this is something that you should be doing in your life. And I'm going to go over a couple things in my experience and also as a teacher that I have seen with my students that led them to the path of mediumship. So for myself, when I was younger, I would have never known at all that this was a sensitivity that I had or that I would be doing at all. When I was young, I realize now that if I was with more than 3 people in a space, it was overwhelming for me. So I constantly had anxiety. And because I lived in a home where there was physical abuse, I would sense before that was going to take place all the time. And my mom was more grounded, so it was very difficult for her to deal with me because I would just beg her, let's not go home, I don't want to go home. Well, where are we going to go? If we're not going to go home, where are we going to go? And I know now that that sensitivity was with me then because I would do this now. It was very hard for me to even understand what was happening and why I was feeling what I was feeling, because I really thought everybody felt that way. And that's why I was a bit bitter with my siblings, because I would wonder, how can they sleep through the physical abuse that's happening in the house? I don't understand that. How could they ignore what they're feeling? But they weren't sensitive, so they weren't feeling everything I was feeling. And I know that now. You might find that you like to be alone. I like to play alone. And it wasn't because I wasn't good with people, but again, it was so overwhelming and it was so much for me. My imagination was so big. I had the biggest imagination. I had an imaginary friend, and I love to imagine things all of the time. And staying still was very difficult for me. To tell me to sit down was like torture. Still to this day it is. And so I had these things going on, but no one before me really explained spirituality through any of my paternal or maternal side of the family. So I really didn't have a guide or anybody to tell me what was happening. When I was 14, that was the first time someone died that I knew, and I felt, to be honest, haunted. I was seeing the individual with my eyes, and it was in a certain home that I would go to because that person was a very spiritual individual. And of course I would be there, right? The universe will bring me there. And he would say to me, it's a gift the way you see spirit, you sense spirit, or you feel. And I would look at him like, you're completely and totally nuts. I don't want to have anything to do with this. This is so scary. And again, thinking that everybody that lived and existed in this earth plane felt it the same way I did, because I felt if I felt it, everybody else did. So at that point, he would tell me, you have white light behind you, which tells me you're here to do God's work in some sort of way. And so from that moment, I had that awareness, but I was on my own at that age. I was homeless. So many things changed in my life, and I wasn't ready for that. By 18, I had 3 kids, and of course, that was a handful. But I would go to get read with my friends, and they would say to me, you can be on the other side of the table, which is so funny because I say that to people now. And so I continued to receive that message. And then in my early 20s, I did get a deck of cards, and I would use them on and off. And I loved it. It felt like I was in my element. But again, life was hard, and I was in an abusive relationship myself. So that was not in my agenda. But I did notice then that I became very overwhelmed. Underneath my eyes were very black, pain in my neck, pain in my shoulders. I would withdraw from people a lot because I felt their emotions, thoughts, and situations, but interpreted as their feelings towards me. So I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't like being in big crowds. It was too much for me. And as I got older, it got louder. So if you find that that's something that you're experiencing, really understanding your aura helps. So, to know your medium is to understand that not everybody has the sensitivity as loud as some of us do. That's not to say that person that is not very sensitive at the moment is not able to develop. I believe everybody has the gift of mediumship. I do agree that it comes a bit easier in development for those that are a little bit more sensitive and right brain than those that are left brain. They want to understand, they want to have a plan of action. They're obviously human beings and always have thought that way, right? You have a thought, you go back to your conscious mind, and you have a mental note with that thought. But with mediumship, it doesn't work that way. You receive the information and you deliver it. So you don't have a mental note that you can go back to. You have trust that you have to stay with. So you have trust what you get and get what you trust, right? And so it wasn't until like my mid or late 20s that I found out I needed surgery, and I had a near-death experience, that I made a promise to God and said, please don't take me. What are my children going to do without me? I am not ready to go, but I promise that I will start my spiritual journey to understand how I'm here to do light work. And I did. And I started to realize everything that I've just stated, because right up to that moment, I didn't realize my sensitivity was so loud that I couldn't be in big crowds, that I had premonitions of things that were going to happen within my family and my space. I could feel it in my stomach. All of those things were normal to me because it was all I ever knew, but they were not normal to other people. So I realized, wow, that's pretty interesting. That was my clairsentience. And I started to learn about chakras. And once I started to learn about chakras and do like oil therapy, aromatherapy, herbal therapy, and do clearings, I started to elevate my frequency, and I started reading cards, and my sensitivity became louder. So your senses are connected to your chakras, and then your chakras are connected to your clairs. So if you're somebody that is very sensitive, let's talk about that. That's one way to kind of know that you are here perhaps to be a psychic reader or a medium, because when we are doing the work of mediumship or even psychic work, our nervous system is being used, which is why a lot of people misinterpret this work with negativity or it being negative in some sort of way. And it's because we feel nervousness with it. We feel the nervousness with it because that is where we receive power and the presence of imprints, whether you're reading psychically or mediumistically, and that area is our solar plexus, which is by our stomach. So if we're feeling that nervousness, it is not always negativity, but it is a lot of times misinterpreted as I need to stay away from that, I shouldn't be doing this, so on and so forth. So if you find that you are an anxious person or nervous person, it could be, again, that you have the sensitivity to the work. You also would maybe sometimes have stomach issues. By the age of 14, I had gastritis so bad that if I had orange juice, I would throw it back up because the lining of my stomach was so raw. So, you know, a lot of mediums, because of the fact that we use our nervous system in this work, or even psychics, tend to have gastritis or stomach issues in some sort of way, IBS, so on and so forth. So that's why I encourage spiritual hygiene, to keep all of those things to a minimum so that we can enjoy doing the work and not feel that our physical body is being beat up. So another thing would be that you are somebody that dreams. So maybe you've had a dream of someone, a loved one, 2 days before they passed away. Or you just got a thought, wow, that person's not doing well. Again, these are our clairs and we're not understanding it. It's our clear feeling, hearing, seeing, and knowing. So a lot of times we are receiving information, but again, it is normal because it's been what we do for forever. So we don't see it as being different. How do you know that you are a medium or should take this path? You know, another big thing that I see with my students is that, and myself, we could have a great life and everything we need, but it still feels like something is missing. Something is missing. Something is not complete in our life. And that starts to create guilt and sadness and depression. Because it's like, I have everything that I need. Why do I feel a lack of something that I need? And to not know what that is and not think that it would be spirituality, that you would walk this path, can be very sad. A lot of people they do end up depressed, you know, because of that. And, you know, when you are somebody that is sensitive and you're supposed to do this work, your auric field is open. You have no knowledge of what an auric field even is, and that is our spirit body, and within there is where the platform is for us to do mediumship, for us to connect with a soul here and read them psychically, or for us to connect with a soul that is passed on the other side as well. So we push out our aura, and then we give them the power to come in and exist with their presence so that we can blend, meld, and merge. Everybody has their own way of describing that presence. That's just how I describe it and break it down. Blending is where the spirit world can feel and see you. Melding is where the spirit world has come in with their presence, and you can feel their presence come in with their mentality and personality. And merging is when you actually feel as if you're walking in the shoes of the soul. You're seeing through their eyes and you're feeling with their feelings. And so a lot of times, randomly, perhaps you're somewhere and you get a random thought of someone to the left of you or to the right of you, and it's constant, and you're constantly feeling like, why would I get that thought? Why would I feel that? And so that's all part of that open aura. But because you're constantly pushing out that power, your physical body has no downtime. And a lot of times people feel that they're depressed, they're looking down, they are very apathic, which is withdrawn from their emotions. There's a numbness there. And again, it could come from the guilt too of, why do I feel this way if I have everything that I need? And once you start to understand how to have that aura in a healthy state, which is 1 inch around the body, you stop feeling so depleted and so drained, and you start to understand how to ground, how to shield. And do you need this to be a medium? No. But does it complement it? Yes. In my philosophy, yes. So if you're somebody that excuse me, is sensitive, dreams, feels, picks up information of others, feels as if you want to put your hand on other people all the time or hug them, that is a sign that you are a healer. And if you're a giver, the biggest thing, if you are a giver and you love to give and it fills your heart and your soul to give, that is a big sign that you are here to help others, whether it is mediumistically, psychically, or being a healer. But because you don't know how you're supposed to give, you're giving too much of yourself, and you're giving away what you even need. Which is why it's so nice to take development classes, to be able to have the foundation, integrity, and personal responsibility in mind, not only for your personal self and your physical body, but for your spiritual self and your spiritual body. So it's so nice. A lot of people talk about, well, why do we need certification? It's just a paper. People just want a fancy paper. I can't answer if that's right or wrong. I can answer based on my experience that I do certify students, and to certify a student does not mean that they're an experienced reader. It means that they have the foundation, integrity, and personal responsibility, and have committed to learning that and creating that in their mediumship to move forward in their own right and develop their own thoughts, emotions, and feelings about their mediumship or their psychic work. To be certified says you've committed to this journey. Congratulations. You have made it part of your life and found balance with it. You could connect with spirit, but it's so much more than just connecting with spirit. It's so much more than just connecting with spirit. You just don't wake up one day and say, hey, I'm seeing spirit. Okay, wonderful, beautiful, fantastic. But you need balance with your physical life, your spiritual life, and this human experience. And this is what these trainings help with. They help to bring that foundation, the understanding, and the spiritual hygiene to be able to do the work. And I like to say, just like the physical body needs a massage, so does the spiritual body. It does. Otherwise, you don't have nuts. Just like the physical body needs a bath, so does the spiritual body. Otherwise, it smells. So I hope this helps a bit. Those are the points that came to me right now in reference to how do you know that you're a medium. Again, sensitivity, feeling overwhelmed, anxiety, and not wanting to be out in big groups, vivid dreams, random thoughts about people. All of these things are intuition and sensitivities that are telling you that perhaps you should walk this path. And if you feel that resonates and you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and continue to receive many more mini lessons from me, and join my mediumship development support group on Facebook, as well as my mediumship development classes online group, which will tell you all of the classes that I am teaching online and also in the Chicagoland area. So if you're interested, check it out. If you're someone that is not ready to invest but is curious and wants to unfold and expand, begin with understanding your auric field and your chakras. And once you get acquainted with that, then you'll know by then what direction you want to go. And that's how I started, and that's what I would recommend. There's a lot of free information online on YouTube about the auric field and chakras. So that's definitely a starting point if you're someone that is already developing or working and you want to work on certain areas. Again, go visit my group Mediumship Development online classes on Facebook. There is a lot of classes launching next month, and I'm very excited again to be able to do that online. I even offer intensives for people to do it, 2-day intensives where we're working 2 days on Zoom online conferencing. We have breakout rooms, so it's such a great experience because it's like you're in a classroom, but you're in the comfort of your home. Again, my name is Lillian Suarez. I'm the founder and one of the admins here in this group. We pride ourselves in creating a safe place. If I'm on YouTube, I'm excited to be learning more about growing this community, and be looking out for my monthly subscription, where if you join, I will be answering monthly questions by you, from you, and also offering readings once a month live on YouTube. So that is something I'm launching new. Thank you everybody for your time. Please do not be discouraged and afraid to say mediumship is something you do want to dive in, or psychic work is something you do want to dive in. It has changed my life in such a beautiful way. God is first always for me. That has never changed for me. I grew up Catholic. No one will take that away from me. I still say that I'm Catholic. I have a high respect for Christian women. They took me in when I had nowhere to go. I love Buddhism. I love everything that is of love. And so I say to you, keep on keeping on. And it's all good, because you need to just step into being your spiritual gangster in your own right, in the way that you should and the way that you will evolve. This journey is about you, not about anybody else. I hope this video helps. And if you'd like to visit my website, it's lillianmedium.com, and or join me on Facebook and or YouTube, Lillian Suarez. Bye for now, everybody.